A company once had an employee who was a genuine genius. In his field, he was considered one of the best. His knowledge was unmatched. His contributions were invaluable. There was only one problem. He was a terrible manager. The company had promoted him into a leadership role, but the position required skills he simply didn't possess. The department was struggling, decisions were being delayed, problems were growing. It became obvious that someone else needed to run the department, but there was a complication. This man was respected, famous within the company, and deeply proud of his work. Demoting him publicly would have been humiliating. Removing him outright would have been devastating. The organization needed a solution that protected both the business and the person. So they came up with one. Instead of taking something away from him, they gave him something new. They created a prestigious title specifically for him. The title emphasized his expertise and importance, while quietly shifting day-to-day leadership responsibilities to someone better suited for the role. He remained respected, the department improved, everyone benefited. Most importantly, nobody was humiliated. That's the power of letting people save face. Many of us underestimate how important dignity is. We correct people publicly without thinking. We point out mistakes in front of others. We expose failures when a private conversation would have accomplished the same goal. Sometimes we do it because we're frustrated, sometimes because we're careless, sometimes because proving we're right feels more important than protecting another person's pride. But the damage can be lasting. People can recover from being wrong. They often struggle to recover from being humiliated. Being corrected isn't usually what hurts. Being embarrassed is what hurts. When someone feels their dignity has been stripped away, they rarely forget it. They may smile, they may act polite, they may move on externally. Internally, the memory remains. That's because self-respect is one of the most valuable things people possess. Threaten it, and you trigger emotions far stronger than the original mistake ever could. Think about arguments you've witnessed. Often the conflict isn't really about facts anymore. It's about pride. One person feels cornered. The other feels determined to prove a point. What began as a disagreement turns into a contest over dignity. And once dignity enters the battle, winning becomes difficult for everyone involved. There was a pilot and writer who expressed this idea in a memorable way. He said he had no right to do or say anything that diminished another person in their own eyes. What mattered wasn't what he thought of the individual. What mattered was what the individual thought of themselves. That's a remarkable standard. Imagine approaching every conversation with that mindset. Imagine deciding that no one should leave an interaction with you feeling smaller than when they arrived. You could still be honest. You could still address problems. You could still hold people accountable. But you would do it in a way that preserved their self-respect. That's where real maturity enters the picture. Because letting someone save face often requires sacrificing something your ego wants. When another person is clearly wrong, there's a temptation to make sure everyone knows it. There's a temptation to prove the point publicly. There's a temptation to enjoy the momentary satisfaction of being right. But that satisfaction comes at a cost. Every time you embarrass someone to demonstrate your superiority, you weaken the relationship. Every time you preserve someone's dignity while correcting them, you strengthen it. The difference is enormous. Saving face doesn't mean avoiding difficult conversations. It doesn't mean pretending mistakes never happened. It doesn't mean lowering standards. It means handling those situations with care. Correct privately when possible. Choose words thoughtfully. Give people a graceful path forward. Allow them to recover without unnecessary embarrassment. Because in most situations, the goal isn't to win a moment. The goal is to improve the future, and people are far more willing to change when they don't feel attacked. Here's the principle worth remembering. Never diminish a person in their own eyes. You can be honest and kind. You can correct and respect. You can disagree and preserve dignity. It often requires only a few extra seconds of thought. A softer approach, a private conversation, a kinder frame. The cost to you is almost nothing. The impact on them can be enormous. Long after people forget the specific correction, they'll remember how you made them feel. And they'll remember whether you allowed them to walk away with their dignity intact.